Hello and welcome back to the another episode of Daily News Quiz Analysis for IAS Prelims 2025. It is 2nd March today, and in this video we are going to solve some important questions which are very much relevant for your preparation. As usual, before we'll start our discussion, I would like to give you the brief introduction about this initiative so that if you are new to our channel, you will get more connected with us. Basically in this video we are going to discuss three types of questions which would be taken from three different sources. So depending upon that, the first set of questions which we are going to discuss here would be taken from the current affairs. What we will do here? We will take up the most important articles from the newspapers. We will try to break them down into the simplest language possible, and we will try to derive the possible prelims questions from those particular articles so that it will give the idea which part of the newspaper is important for you, what should be your approach when you are reading those news articles, and how you can expect a possible prelims question from those particular topics. This is what we are going to do in the first phase of our discussion. After solving questions with respect to current affairs, we will shift our approach to the second part. Here we will discuss questions from the static portion, static topic based questions. Currently we are discussing Indian polity, and today we are going to discuss the Solicitor General of India with respect to Indian polity. We will discuss this concept and we'll try to derive the possible prelims based question from that particular topic, and it will give the proper idea how the question can be actually asked in the exam, so that you will get very well prepared for it. After solving questions with respect to current affairs and the static part, we will shift our approach to the last part of our discussion with respect to the previous year question book. We'll bring up the previous year questions, we'll try to discuss them, we'll try to find out the vocabulary which is used by UPSC. We'll try to find out the various trends which the UPSC follows for framing your papers, and also at the same time we'll try to understand what can be the different techniques which we can implement in the exam if we don't have the proper knowledge about the question. What are the various types of elimination methods which we can implement, and also we will try to understand you know we will try to understand how we can implement this knowledge in the upcoming exam. So this is in nutshell what we are going to do in this video. Now before we will start our discussion, I would like to request you guys, please do subscribe the channel. When you subscribe us, it motivates us to work more hard on these topics and provide you the best information. So please do subscribe, please do share it with your friends so that they may also get benefited from this initiative, and also please do write in the comments what else should we bring for you guys. With this, let us start with the first question here. As you can see, the question is basically about the Bar Council of India. So you may wonder why we had brought this question, and if you would have read today's newspaper, you would definitely know why we had brought this question. Now, before going to the context why we brought this question here, let's first understand the question, establish the question here, and understand it. Then we will shift towards the context of the question why we had brought it here. As you can see, the question says regarding the Bar Council of India, consider the following statements. Basically about few important points I would like to mention here. Bar Council, it is the autonomous body, and it is the it is a statutory body. It is a autonomous and statutory body. So please remember these two things. So here the first statement says the Bar Council of India is a constitutional body established by the Constitution of India. No, totally incorrect. It is not a constitutional body. It is a statutory body established through the Advocates Act of 1961. So first statement is totally incorrect. Second statement, the Bar Council of India's functions are primarily defined and regulated by the Advocates Act of 1961. 100% correct. It is regulated by the Advocates Act of 1961. So second statement is correct. Third statement, the Bar Council of India is a Bar Council of India's regulatory functions include setting standards for legal education and exercising disciplinary control over advocates. 100% correct. This is true. Its regulatory functions include setting standards for legal education and exercising disciplinary controls over advocates. This is 100% true. So third statement is also correct with respect to this question. So with respect to this question, the correct option would be option C, that is 2 and 3 only. Now with this, we got the basic understanding of the Bar Council of India. As we understood it, it is not a constitutional body. We established that it is a statutory body, and it is mostly regulated by the Advocates Act of 1961. Now let's come to the point why we had brought this question here. This question, why we are discussing this question, because of the controversial bill which the government was about to introduce, which the government which the government was about, which government proposed to, the which government has proposed to introduce the bill, the amendment bill, the advocates amendment bill 2023. Because of this advocates amendment bill of 2023 25, sorry, advocates amendment bill of 2025, this bar council of India has been highlighted here. So what is the controversy with respect to that? What was the controversy with respect to that? The provisions of the Advocates Amendment Bill 2023, it was going to amend the Advocates Act of 1961, and it has introduced many provisions which were not liked by the Bar Council of India. About Bar Council of India, as we saw here, that it set standards for legal education and exercising disciplinary control over advocates. So it has definitely the lawyers are very much under its control, and also it is one of the autonomous body. It maintains a degree of autonomy with respect to that, because it is believed that it is part of the judiciary, and judiciary should be very much independent. So this Bar Council of India, it has always maintained this degree of autonomy. So when this amendment was proposed, when this amendment advocates amendment bill 2023 was proposed, the Bar Council of India, it wrote to the law minister that these amendments are very much threat to the independence of the judiciary, so it is better for them to overtake it, to cancel it. And by this, the government of India finally did not introduce it. They did not stand with the bill. They did not introduce the amendment bill. So this is the final decision with respect to the bill. Now let us see what were the key provisions of that, which was very much controversial. First thing, about the lawyers, you would had often heard that about the lawyers, you would had often heard that they are always on the strikes. They are always on the strikes, and they abstain from the court work. So in this bill, the first thing which was mentioned, which was controversial, that the lawyers won't be allowed, lawyers will no longer be allowed to abstain from court work. So it in a way highlighted that it started to control the lawyers. It's in a way highlighted that it was curbing the right to protest of their lawyers. So it was, in this way, it was very much controversial. And if we will see the another the thing with respect to the abstaining from the court work, it how the government of India justifies it. Even in the Supreme Court judgment, the Supreme Court has highlighted that in Harsh Upwal versus Union of India, that lawyers don't have right to boycott the court work. They don't have right to boycott the court work, or we can say they don't have right to abstain from the court work. So this court work is very much important for the functioning of the judiciary, for the justice of the people. So if it would be abstained by the lawyers, then it will definitely impact the justice of the people. So in this regard, the Supreme Court itself said that lawyers don't have the right to abstain from the work. They can protest in other ways, but abstaining from the work is not the right what the lawyers should enjoy. So with respect to that, the government introduced a bill, and it highlighted this term: lawyers will no longer be allowed to abstain from the court work. But it did not go well with the Bar Council of India, and Bar Council of India wrote to the law minister that please withdraw this bill. Second thing, there was huge executive interference in the Bar Council of India. About Bar Council of India, we already have the executive interference from the Solicitor General and the Advocate General, or Attorney General of India. So in this bill, the central was increasing its control over the functioning of the Bar Council, and this could have definitely impacted the overreach of executive in the judiciary. So definitely it did not went well with the Bar Council of India. And another thing, there was one provision about the entry of foreign law firms and recognition of corporate lawyers, which in a way highlighted the issues of the domestic lawyers, domestic market. It could destroy the domestic market. So this also did not went well with the Bar Council of India, and because of that, there was protest against this bill, and finally the government withdraw from it. So this is the whole nutshell of this story, why we had brought this question here. I hope you had understood it, and also you had understood the context of this question. What was the bill? It was the basically the bill was the Advocates Amendment Bill 2025, and it was going to amend this Advocates Act of 1961. And why the government is trying to amend it? Because government feels that it is outdated, it is very much obsolete, and there is definitely need for to that India should also be in line with the global standards. According to the government, that this law is not in line with the global standards, so it is obsolete, it is outdated. So it is right time for India, right time for the government to introduce the bill which will to introduce the act which will make India in line with the global standards. That's why they were trying to introduce it. So with this, I hope you had understood the question as well as the context of the question. Now let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is with respect to the obesity in India. Basically why we had brought this question, because in the Man Ki Baat, PM Narendra Modi, he discussed about the obesity, he discussed about the issues related to obesity. He discussed that we should not reuse oil many times. It is one of the leading cause of the obesity. So with respect to this, please we will try to understand this question about the obesity, which is very much important for us, which could be asked in exam. Here the question says, regarding the growing challenges of obesity in India, consider the following statements. First statement: urbanization and sedentary lifestyles are significant contributing factors to the rising prevalence of obesity. 100% correct. This 100% true, nothing wrong with the statement. Second statement, it says obesity is primarily concentrated within high income urban population with limited impact on rural areas. This is totally incorrect. It is a kind of an assumption, a stereotype which has developed over years, that only rich people or urban people with high income people will develop obese rather than the poor and rural people. But unfortunately, the tides had changed their trend, and we are seeing that the rural people, the poor people, are also facing this issue of obesity. The food which we are getting, as we know, as it is often said that the harmful foods are much cheaper than the beneficial foods. So definitely those harmful foods which have high calories, they are very much cheaper to get, and everybody in the rural area or a poor family are very much poor people are very much in a way in a position to buy those cheaper foods, which indeed lead to the obese of them, obesity of those people. So definitely that food which is in high carbs can lead to the obesity, and which is available to everyone. So definitely this statement, in itself is incorrect, because it is not only concentrated with the high income urban population, but also in the low income rural population also it is concentrated too. So second statement is incorrect. Third statement: the National Program for Prevention and Control of Cancer, Diabetes, Cardiovascular Disease and Strokes, NPCDCS, addresses obesity as a key component. 100% correct. With respect to this question, I hope the correct option would be option 1 and 3 is the correct option, and I hope you had understood the question itself. Now, as I already told you why we had brought this question, because the PM Modi mentioned about the impact of obesity, and here we have various reports with respect to the obesity, how it has increased from 2015-16 to 2020. Earlier for women it used to, in our country it used to be 20.6%, which increased to 24%, and in men it used to be 18.9%, which has increased to 22.9%. And also one of the issue with respect to the calculation of obesity in India is BMI, the body mass index, which is highly criticized, because according to many researchers, that BMI is not the correct explanation of the obesities. It only gives us the weight body mass ratio index, but it does not tell us why this fat is accumulated. So in India we have to understand that the fat is mostly we are genetically we are genetically very much our body is genetically very much viable to the accumulation of fat around our our abdomen. So this abdominal fat is one of the major reason for the obesity. So this body mass index does not tell us where this fat actually is available. So the data which I earlier mentioned, that it is 24% in women, in 2021 2022, it could be much more than this, it could be much more, it could be around 40%. So because of this, the data which we are discussing, the index which we are using is incorrect, this data can be very much altered. So this is how it has already impacted. And also there is childhood obesity on the rise. It has been found out that it has also increased from 2.1% to 3.4%. And this childhood obesity is one of the major issue. It can lead to the various psychological issues for the child. He can go through bullying in the classes, and also his friend circle, his or her friend circle would be very much small. And also this psychological impact which he will face in the school, it will remain with him for the lifetime. And also this childhood obesities, there are high chances that it would transmit into the adulthood obesities. So obesity, so definitely it is one of the major issue. It is as per the research, as per the author, he says that it is the pandemic incoming, and it is right time for India to understand it, to see how much harmful it can be. And there are lots of deaths due to the non-communicable diseases, and most of the non-communicable diseases are because of the obesity. So please understand that. So with this, I hope you had understood the question, these important points with respect to obesity in India, and also the context which we discussed here. Now with this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is with respect to the proposed Assam Bhutan railway link. Why we had brought this question? The reason for that is report on Assam Bhutan railway link has been submitted, so that's why we had brought this question. Now let's understand what is this Assam Bhutan railway link. Here the question says, with reference to the proposed Assam Bhutan railway link, consider the following statement. First statement: the railway line will connect Kokrajhar in Assam to Gelafu in Bhutan. 100% correct, nothing wrong with the statement. Second statement: the project is expected to boost trade and economic development in both the regions. Correct. Third, the railway line will be India's first cross-border railway link. No, it is not the first. We already have with Nepal. So this statement is totally incorrect. You know, this would be the first railway link between Bhutan and Assam, but not first cross-border railway link. So this question, with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 1 and statement 2 only. With this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here the question is with respect to the Securities and Exchange Board of India. Why it is in news? Because new chairman Mr. Pandit has taken the charge as the SEBI chairman. So that's why it becomes important for us to have the basic understanding about the SEBI. Here the question says, regarding the Securities and Exchange Board of India, consider the following statements. First statement: SEBI is a constitutional body established under Article 280 of the Indian Constitution. No, it is not a constitutional body. It is a statutory body. It was established under, it was established under the Statutory Act, SEBI Act of 1992. So first statement is totally incorrect. Second statement: SEBI's primary mandate is to protect the interests of investors in the securities market and regulate the market. 100% correct. Third statement: SEBI has the authority to issue regulations and guidelines for listed companies and market intermediaries. 100% correct. So with respect to this question, the correct statements are statement 2 and statement 3 only. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option B. With this, let's move to the about SEBI. You should know one more thing, that earlier it was just an executive body which was formed by an executive order. Then later it became the statutory body under Statutory Act of SEBI's Act of 1992. With this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought there. Here this question is with respect to the selenosis. There was a research there was a studies how overconsumption of wheat can lead to the selenosis. Now let us see what this question say. What does this selenosis is? Let's understand it through this question. The question says, regarding selenosis, consider the following statements. First statement: selenosis is a condition caused by excessive intake of selenium, a trace of element. 100% correct. Nothing wrong with the statement. Second statement: symptoms of selenosis may include hair loss, nail brittleness, and neurological abnormalities. 100% correct. Third statement: selenosis is primarily a concern in region with naturally low levels of selenium in the soil. Totally incorrect, but with high levels of selenium. Why it is in use? Because researchers had found that in wheat, overconsumption of wheat, there is in most of the qualities or in different qualities of the wheat there are selenium is present, and overconsumption of this can lead to the early hair loss in the younger generation, in the adult generation, and nail brittleness. It can lead to this selenosis. This was a study which I thought is important for you to bring in this question here. So with respect to this question, the correct statement are statement 1 and statement 2 only. And with this we complete our today's discussion with respect to the current affairs questions. I hope you had understood every question which we brought here. I hope if I hope there is no confusion there. If there is any, please do write in the comments. We will try our best to reach out to you guys. With this, let's move to the another slide and see what question we had brought from the static portion today. As you can see, the question is with respect to the Solicitor General of India. We recently, yesterday, we completed every concept related to the Attorney General of India. Now today's turn is of the Solicitor General. So let's understand this Solicitor General through this question. The question says, consider the following statements regarding the Solicitor General of India. First statement, the Solicitor General of India is the second highest law officer in the country after the Attorney General. 100% correct. He is the second law officer, second highest law officer in the country after the Attorney General. He is subordinate to the Attorney General of India. Second, so first statement is correct. Second statement, the Solicitor General of India is appointed by the President of India on the recommendation of the Prime Minister. No, totally incorrect. He is appointed by the Union Law Minister. So this is totally incorrect. Who appoints him? Union Law Minister. Third statement, the primary responsibility of the Solicitor General of India is to represent the government of India in the Supreme Court. 100% correct. And also please remember that it is not a constitutional post like the Attorney General. Solicitor General is not a constitutional post. A question about it can be asked, it is a constitutional post. No, it is not a constitutional post. It is not a constitutional post like the Attorney General. So with this, what are the correct statements? Correct statements are statement 1 and statement 3. And from the code given below, the correct code would be option C. With this, I hope you had understood this topic also. Now let's move to the last part of our discussion where we will solve a previous year question. Let's see what question we had brought today. Here the question is, this question was asked in 1999. This question is from the world geography, and see how questions used to come in the exam during that time and how UPSC can even ask it today. Now have a look at it. A question says a person of mixed European and Indian blood in Latin America is called as, what is he called as? And the right answer to is mestizo. He is called as mestizo. So this is very much conceptual based question. Here you can't do much. You cannot use any technique with respect to this question, because for such question you need to have the proper knowledge. And even if you don't have the proper knowledge about these questions, it is most recommended for you guys, please don't attempt such questions, don't lose your marks. So with this we complete our today's discussion. I hope you would have liked the video. I hope you would share it with your friends, and definitely I hope you would subscribe the channel. Thank you for staying with me. Thank you very much and have a nice day.